Isekai is a staple of the anime industry by this point. The concept is popular enough to warrant multiple representatives in each season. While not every story goes down this route, Isekai anime with up main characters are inescapable, to the point that they are largely synonymous with each other. While getting a lot of hate due to being overexposed, these shows can be entertaining when they are executed well. They offer exciting action, fun relationships, and laugh-out-loud humor. Not every series hits the mark, but the best Isekai anime with up MCS are worth watching. An anime's quality is important, the focus is on its implementation of the overpowered protagonist concept. Also, series like Mushoku Tensei have been excluded since Rudy is powerful but not up. This is not a tier list. When I edit tier list articles, I change them into alphabetized lists since I tend to disagree with their order. Despite this, I have seen many of these shows, and will add my opinion when possible. The Eminence in Shadow. An Isekai anime protagonist gets to play out his up MC fantasies. Fueled by Chuunibyou aspirations, Minoru dreams of being the mastermind who guides society from the shadows. When he dies and is reborn as the powerful Cid in a fantasy world, he gets to finally actualize his delusions, while also leading a double life where he pretends to be a weak background character. Backed by an army of powerful waifus and opposing a cult that he does not believe exists, Cid is an enigma who is somehow both the smartest and dumbest person alive. An Isekai op MC anime parody that also works flawlessly as a standard example of that theme, The Eminence in Shadow is an unapologetic power fantasy that is self-aware enough to have relentless fun with the concept. Unlike so many other similar shows, this series backs its humor with top-notch action sequences, smart world building, and an ever-expanding roster of characters who complement the protagonist well. Ishura. Let the overpowered characters fight. Ishura's selling point is simple: overpowered characters fight to the death. The storytelling can be a touch confusing at times, but the anime ultimately boils down to a series of battles pitting ridiculously powerful warriors against each other. The roster is diverse too, but the variety makes narrative sense as quite a few characters are visitors from another world. Now, Ishura's first season has a habit of pushing away viewers since the first few episodes are disjointed. The anime, essentially, starts with a roll call that goes through the major players that will take part in an upcoming war, with each character having roughly half an episode dedicated to them. While messy, this section paves the way to a fantastic second half and an even better season 2. I've never seen this series. If you have, let me know your opinion in the comments. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. A cute girl doing up MC things. In theory, Isekai anime with up MCs sound like they should prioritize action to take advantage of the protagonist's cool abilities. However, this concept lends itself surprisingly well to slow life stories, as the appeal comes from the character having the necessary tools to lead a completely carefree life. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level is among the best examples of this particular subcategory. After grinding slimes for 300 years, Azusa has effectively become a goddess who is by far the most powerful being in this universe. While she occasionally gets involved in fights, Azusa mostly spends her days in paradise, living alongside other girls who admire or rely on her. This show was fun to watch, but maybe not multiple times. It's cute and worth the watch even if only once. My instant death ability is so overpowered, no one in this other world stands a chance against me. The ultimate up MC Isekai anime. That is not that great. My instant death ability was seemingly designed for people who hate overpowered Isekai protagonists. A class gets summoned to another world by a manipulative sage, and most of them are given powers. The students who are not bestowed gifts are left for dead. However, one of them, Yoguri, arrived pre-installed with the ability to kill anything with a single thought. Alongside a girl, he goes on a relaxed adventure that primarily involves killing off Isekai tropes before they have an opportunity to do anything. Yoguri is unquestionably the most powerful Isekai anime MC of all time. Consequently, my instant death ability warrants a mention, despite the anime being relatively underwhelming and repetitive. Still, if somebody is craving a somewhat mean-spirited parody of the genre, this show should deliver. I have seen this show, and I can say it wasn't bad. I may watch it again one day when I'm really bored. If you are an Isekai fan, then watch it, otherwise don't bother, it will likely turn you off to the genre. Overlord. World domination is inevitable. As the MMO Yggdrasil prepares to shut down, the protagonist, as his evil mage character, decides to spend his final in-game minutes with the NPCs his guild created. However, instant of logging off, he ends up trapped in a world similar to Yggdrasil, albeit with no people who are remotely as powerful as the MC or his NPCs. Overlord chronicles Momonga's march toward world domination, an accidental goal that gradually becomes deliberate. With a protagonist who is light years beyond any challenger, Overlord takes viewers on a power trip that slips completely into dark fantasy territory. Momonga is powerful enough to defeat any kingdom on his own, and his allies are not far behind. If someone wants to watch the big bad win, Overlord is the best Isekai anime with an OP-MC for them. I have seen this series. The first half of the first season was good, but the end season battle was kind of meh. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. The definitive OP-MC Isekai anime. As no JRPG enemy is more basic than a slime, Satoru seemed to pull the short straw when he reincarnated as one. Fortunately, he is a bit special, as he can acquire new skills by assimilating other monsters. He consumes a legendary dragon and grows fairly powerful, setting him on the path to becoming a major political player in his new world. Isekai tends to get criticized for playing things too safely, particularly when it comes to overpowered protagonists. That time I got reincarnated as a slime is the example of this type of story. Not only was the novel one of the standard setters for the theme, but the anime is also a solid adaptation that has the necessary budget and episodes to do relative justice to the source material. That time I got reincarnated as a slime is the best litmus test to determine whether someone enjoys OP-MC Isekai anime. If this one does not click, most shows will likely fall flat. Tsukimichi, Moonlit Fantasy. A well-rounded Isekai anime. One of the best Isekai anime of the 2020s, Tsukimichi is very close to being the complete package, even if it might not quite reach the genre's absolute pinnacle. With likable characters, decent action, solid world building, and better-than-average humor, Tsukimichi is just an all-around enjoyable fantasy show that should be watched even by people who are not particularly into Isekai. The protagonist, Makoto, is a big reason why the story works as well as it does. While extremely powerful by most standards, he is constantly learning how to better control his abilities, so there is a sense of development that is frequently absent in OP-MC Isekai anime. Beyond that, Makoto has a few clever weaknesses and blind spots that are covered by the supporting characters. In fact, Tsukimichi gradually becomes more of an ensemble cast anime. I've seen this series almost as many times as Dragon Ball, Uncle from Another World. The OP Isekai life is not all sunshine and rainbows. Most Isekai anime are escapist fantasies that try to feature a protagonist who is easy for audiences to insert themselves into. Uncle from Another World takes a bit of a different approach. Set after Yusuke returns from an Isekai trip that lasted for more than a decade, the anime follows his attempts to settle back onto Earth, all the while incorporating flashbacks to his past adventures. Despite being very much OP, Yusuke hated his time in the other world as he was constantly discriminated against. He led a lonely and exhausting existence, one made worse by his inability to recognize a tsundere elf's interest in him. Uncle from Another World is a hilarious comedy that parodies Isekai anime with overpowered protagonists, while also trying out quite a few loving references to pop culture of yesteryear. Honestly, I only made it through the first episode, Villainess level 99. I may be the hidden boss but I'm not the demon lord. Best Isekai Villainess anime with an OP-MC. Over the last few years, Villainous Isekai anime have become very common, with most seasons including one show that fits the theme. While always competent, The protagonists of these series are not typically extremely overpowered, and they are usually just strong enough to hold their own. Villainess level 99 is an exception. Reincarnated as an otome game's secret hidden boss, Yumiella puts to shame everyone else in this universe, and she spent her childhood grinding to ensure she would be as powerful as possible. She summons a black hole at one point, and she makes it seem effortless. Not fully grasping how off-putting her displays of power can be, Yumiella has an endearing and charming awkwardness. While nothing too amazing, Villainess level 99 is consistently funny and cute. Many Villainess shows are good, this NE is my favorite. Zenshu. The power of creativity. A rare original Isekai anime, Zenshu almost comes across like a love letter to classic fantasy, particularly shows from the 80s and 90s. A talented animator suffering from burnout, Natsuko Hirose chokes on some food and ends up in the world of her favorite anime movie. Hoping to avoid the story's notoriously depressing ending, Natsuko uses her newfound godlike power to bring to life anything that she draws, and she has a pretty wild imagination. Starting strong and only getting better from there, Zenshu blends genres, tropes, and even visual styles to tell an epic tale that manages to remain fresh despite taking inspiration from the past. While up in theory, Natsuko's powers have well-defined limitations, both in terms of mechanics and user error. Personally, I would suggest Tsukimichi, Overlord, Reincarnated as a Slime, and Eminence in Shadow. Tsukimichi is fun and relaxing. Mostly about creating a life in a new world with the bare minimum of story-building fighting. Instant death ability was weird, and the battles were anticlimactic. Killing slimes for 300 years was cute, and had a fun group of characters. Villainess level 99 held my ADD attention, and entertained me. Overlord started strong, but dwindled. Reincarnated as a Slime was an epic story that kept me engaged all throughout the series. Eminence in Shadow was dark, and the MC was dark and willing to anger any potential ally just to achieve his goal. My favorite series would have to be Tsukimichi, at least on this list. By the Grace of the Gods is better. I watched the first season once a month for 8 months while waiting for the second season.